Who is that? Whoever's creeping around out there, you better be alive. I charge extra for the dead. Whoa, Velvet. Here you go. Did you call the farrier, Tom? Yeah, Ricky's shaping the horseshoes outside the stable. He's coming any minute. Maverick finished shaping the perfect horseshoe and walked into Mr. Anderson's stable. It's ready, he called out. But all of a sudden, upon seeing him, Mr. Anderson's horses pulled loose of its reins and began neighing. Maverick stepped back, seeing the scared animal. He was shocked when all of the horses too began jumping and running in their stable. What is happening? What did you do? I didn't do anything. Maverick left the barn and walked out on the street. He had lost another job yet again. Maverick was a farrier. He ran a small blacksmithing shop in town and often visited horse owners who called him in to shoe their horses. Maverick was pretty good at his job, but recently he had been noticing something strange with the horses. He couldn't handle any of them. They seemed to go rogue whenever he went near them. This had happened a few times that Maverick had put off a whole stable of horses, all running wild, upsetting the owners and hence leading to him being kicked out. Maverick returned to his shop and began forging the horseshoes, waiting for a customer. It wasn't until noon that an old customer of his walked in. "How's it going, John?" Ricky said, holding the heated horseshoe and a pair of nippers. "Good. I need her shoes changed. She's been very well behaved. You won't have any problem handling her today." "I hope so." As John stroked the horse head, Ricky slowly tried to pick up one of the horse's hind legs, not wanting to startle it. But as soon as he touched the horse put his leg down and neighed, moving away. "It's all right," John said, patting the horse, as he settled her back in place. Ricky picked up the horse's leg again, but it continued to neigh, anxious and scared. Ricky had to use all his strength to hold the horse's leg between his as he nailed on the horseshoe. The horse was frightened and kept on trying to gallop off. Maverick barely managed to nail the shoes on. As he came to the last front leg, holding onto the heated horseshoe, the horse managed to kick free, hitting Ricky, and in a panic, Ricky accidentally touched the hot horseshoe on the horse's leg, scaring the nervous animal even more. The horse neighed loudly as it began jumping. John held onto its rein as hard as he could. He was infuriated by Maverick's carelessness. "Do you even know what you're doing? What kind of farrier are you? You injured the horse." so sorry, I just don't know why she's behaving like that. She's never behaved like this before. I heard much praise about you, mister. Take her to another farrier. Sir, it wasn't an accident, Maverick said, trying to reason with the customer. It seemed like things wouldn't work out again. Just look at how the horseshoes have been put on. She's having trouble balancing. I've never seen a job done so horribly. John left with his horse, murmuring under his breath about the horrible service. Ricky watched him leave. He shut down the forge fire and closed the shop. Even horses that he had been caring for such a long time behaved like he was a total stranger to them. If the animals were uncomfortable with him around, there was no way he could get his job done. Ricky was depressed and worried. If things went on like this, he would be out of business soon. For the past few days, Ricky had been staying back at the local bar, having a few drinks, then trying to figure out what he was going to do. I told you, I'm booked tonight. Oh, come on now. We both had a good time. I'm busier than a one-legged cat in a sandbox, all right. Do I look like I have time for you? As Dakota bargained with another customer, she saw Maverick walk through the door. Look here. I know you didn't fall out the turnip truck this morning. This is as clear as it gets. You give me double the rate, or you get out of here. Get out of here. She scowled as she went back to arranging the bottles and pouring a drink behind the counter. Dakota had been working at this bar for about a year now, and over the days, she had become quite friendly with Maverick. He was decent and kind to her, unlike the other men she had to deal with. What happened this time? I don't know. What's happening to me? These horses start acting so strange whenever I go near them. Now that's odd. How are you shoeing them horses now? I'm running out of business. I'm not even making a fraction of what I was making before. Well, you think you should be wasting it over here? Boss been giving you a hard time because of me. Well, he'd drown me in a rainstorm if he knew I was serving you for free, but I can risk that much. Thanks. After a round of drinks and a chat with Dakota, Ricky left the bar late that evening feeling a little better. Dakota was the only person who made him forget his worries. As autumn neared, the weather started to become chilly. There was a cool breeze running through the air. The street was empty as well. It was getting real dark. The only speck of light was the lanterns hung on a bar far in the distance. Maverick sulked as he walked down, feeling the gust of wind pass through his hair. Moments into walking, he suddenly started to get a feeling someone was behind him. He quickly glanced back. The road was empty. Maverick continued walking. But when he heard the sound of hooves galloping behind him, he started to feel anxious. He turned around again, but there wasn't anyone in sight for miles. He looked at the neighboring fields. All the animals had been taken inside. Where was the noise coming from?
Maverick!
Hold up! Hearing the familiar voice, Maverick turned to see Dakota jogging toward him. Lifting her skirt slightly as she hurried down the dirt road, her cheeks were flushed from the cold. You trying to outrun the devil or something? You nearly scared me half to death. Well, that's rich coming from a man who's been frightening horses all over Kentucky. Don't start. Oh, I ain't starting. The horses already did that. For the first time all day, Maverick chuckled. Dakota smiled. There he is. Thought I'd lost him. Lost who? The man who used to smile. Hard to smile these days. Well, lucky for you, I happen to be excellent company. You charge extra for that? Only for handsome customers. Well, I sure ain't no Hemsworth's son. Ricky, I don't even know who in the blaze of Hemsworth is. You ain't no Chris and Liam? All I know is you're taller than most men in town, got all your teeth, and you smell better than half the fellows that walk into that bar. Around here, that's enough to win a beauty contest. That's a mighty low standard. Good thing for you, then. Maverick shook his head, trying not to smile. You say that to all your customers? Only the ones that don't mind walking me home? Oh, is that what it is? Maybe. Or maybe I just figured if some outlaw jumps out of the bushes, I'd rather he rob the blacksmith first. That's real sweet of you. I know. Don't go telling people. I've got a reputation to protect. They walked together beneath the moonlight until they reached Dakota's small house near the edge of town. Well, this is me. Maverick nodded, secretly hoping she'd ask him inside or at least tell him to visit tomorrow. Instead, she simply smiled. Get home safe, Ricky. You too. Don't let no ghosts catch you on the road. Ghosts? Sure. Folks around here say the dead wander after midnight. Personally, I think they're more polite than most of my customers. With that, she disappeared through the door. Maverick nervously hurried down the road. Something wasn't right. However, the further he got along, the sound of the horse seemed to get even closer and closer. At one point, Maverick stopped, paralyzed in fear hearing the horse hit his hooves on the ground. He could clearly hear its heavy breath puff through its nostrils. Maverick gulped as he turned around expecting to see a horse ready to charge at him. But when he turned, he saw nothing. He became all the more paranoid and began running. Running as he heard the horse neigh loudly. All of a sudden, Maverick felt something hit his back, throwing him onto the ground. No. Hearing the screams of a man, some locals from the nearby farm ran out to see the matter. They brought out their torches, searching the road, when they spotted a man on the ground, under a tree. The man was on the verge of death, in a horrible condition. The locals were shocked to see. He looked like he had been trampled by a horse, his limbs broken, his body bruised. Bring some water, quickly. How did this happen? Who did this to you?" Maverick gasped for breath. He cried as he spoke. He knew these would be his last words. "I deserve this. I deserve this." There was a time when Maverick was indeed a well-known farrier in town. He was the best in the field. Getting a horse shoed was vital for the horse's well-being, and keeping their hooves healthy and the horse happy. Some even considered the horseshoe a symbol of luck, and not just the horseshoe, but many horse owners who raced their horses had developed a preference for Maverick over other farriers, especially during the months of May and early June, when the annual horse race was to be held in Kentucky, the Run for the Roses. Maverick had shoed many of these thoroughbred racing horses. Thoroughbreds were considered hot-blooded, known for their agility, speed, and spirit, but Maverick handled them with ease. There was one specific horse that Maverick would never forget: Wildfire. The horse was eye-catching. It was a rare Palomino thoroughbred, and its speed and endurance matched no other. "I thank you so much for your work. I don't know if Wildfire would have been able to do it without you." "Congratulations, Mr. Calvin. You must make sure her shoes are perfect for the final race. She has to win the Kentucky Derby under any cost. I've spent a lot on him." Calvin Donnelly, the owner of Wildfire, had heard of Maverick's talent in the field and brought his horse to him prior to the races. Calvin had bet a lot of money on the horse, and to his amazement, Wildfire won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness Stakes. But before the final race in New York, Calvin would take no chances. He traveled back to Kentucky with Wildfire for the last checkup with Maverick. What he didn't know was that someone else had visited Maverick before him. One of Donnelly's rivals, Roxanne DuPont, had come to Kentucky for some important business with Maverick. "You're the one who takes care of Wildfire, don't you? Donnelly's champion?" "Yes." "Take this. Poison the horse. You'll get double the amount after the race. I hope I'm not disappointed." Roxanne DuPont had too taken part in the races, but her horse was no match to Donnelly's. She was infuriated when her horse came in runner-up to Wildfire, and she wanted revenge. She knew all bets were on Donnelly's horse, but she wouldn't let him win again. Maverick accepted the offer and poisoned Wildfire before the race. Nevertheless, Wildfire was a strong horse indeed. He came in third position, even in that dreadful state. But unfortunately, that wasn't good enough. Calvin Donnelly had bet an immense amount of money on the horse, and he couldn't accept losing it again. He couldn't accept losing it all. He became so enraged, he took the life of Wildfire. Taking his last breath, Maverick choked on his words. It was the spirit of Wildfire.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.